Perfect.
How fast you are? That was too fast.
I didn't go out and do anything yet. I'm just setting up the camera. Yeah, he wouldn't have dread. Flash Gordon wouldn't have dread. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't even care.
Helmet. Not connecting, so we're good. I need to figure out, I need sound somewhere to see, make sure that I'm not connected, so perfect. That's all that matters. I can hear sound. Okay, hope everyone is having a wonderful day on this. You know, I went out today and already did things, and I, for the life of me, cannot tell you what day of the week it is. It's whatever day of the week it is. It's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. I don't know. It's one of those days. It's a day. It is currently it's 52 degrees. Wow, it's pretty warm. It's 52 degrees or 12. See. So we're going to go feed the chickens, get all that accomplished. Trying something a little different today, so I actually should be able to hear. I should be able to hear the chat. So if you guys are wanting to chat, I should actually be able to hear it. So that should be it should be good to go. So blue skies. Beautiful, beautiful blue skies. Not a chemtrail in sight. So we should be good to go and awesome and all that kind of great things. So we got the ducks here waiting for us, ready to go. Think those people got turned around? So quack, quack ducks everywhere. So today we are going to specifically talk about ADHD and farming and how I deal with it, because it can be an interesting adventure sometimes. So, but with farming, and what's nice about farming is there are things that are pretty much forced me to do, even if my ADD kicks in and I forget. There's things that I just naturally are forced to remember. So first thing we're going to do before I forget, because that's what I'm worried about right now is forgetting, is I am going to hook up the hose so we can have easy access to water. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to set you guys down right here. I'm going to hook the hose up. I'm going to hook the extension cord up, and then we're going to run the extension cord right down this way so that I can hook up to the cistern. So I will be able to access water. So right on the other side of the camera is where I plug in. So I'm just over here plugging it in. Perfect. Plugged in. I'm going to run the extension cord down their way and come back. So, some of you maybe aren't that aware of what ADD is. ADD is where you kind of have a ADD, ADHD, they're virtually the same thing now. It's where you pretty much have a tough time prioritizing things appropriately. So, and it's like that whole concept, oh, squirrel type. I am really bad at it. My downfall is when it comes to the kind that I have is I unfortunately lack the hyper focus that some people get with that most people get with ADHD. So with ADHD, you usually get hyper focus, which is pretty cool. It means that if you find something you really like, you can hyper focus. I can find something I absolutely love doing, and the hyper focus does not always work for me. So, alas, but I think I was built. I think ADHD and some of the other stuff was actually built to be things like farmers, because animals kind of tell you when they're hungry. They tell you what needs to get done. You get forced yourself into routines, and routine is a very good way to deal with when you have things that you need to get done and you just forget about it. I think I started last week. And I will continue doing this. I'm trying to get myself a list of priorities every day, every week, every month, and work on getting those priorities done. So this is going to be interesting. I'm curious. I think I got this fixed so that I can actually talk in the barn now, because for a while, this phone did not like to talk in the barn. But it looks like I got the phone working in the barn just fine. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the ducks outside. We're going to get them some bunch of food. And I can't wait till the day that I can go from this and I can touch my glasses and then immediately switch over to that. We're not there yet. I know we're not very far off. And I absolutely look forward to the day that I'll easily be able to switch cameras with something that simple. But the simple fact is that's not what I want to give them. I'm pretty happy with the current setup I have anyway. So, ducks, let's go outside. I'm going to give you some food outside, and then we're going to get in here and get everybody fed in here and make sure everybody is happy. There you go, guys, over there. Perfecto mundo. Okay. Hi, Ducky. Let me get you some food in here, Ducky, before everybody comes and rushes you. There you go, Ducky. Great. I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing there, but, I just gave Ducky some food. And we're into the barn, ready to go. So I was the one feeding everyone yesterday, I believe. So if that's the case, then not knowing where the food container is absolutely my fault. Yes, it is absolutely my fault. So where did I put the food container? It is probably in the other building. Let me go walk over to the handy run real fast. Grab the food container and head back over. Food container in my hand. So, one thing I'm trying really hard this year with the barn is to try to put everything back in its proper home. So that's something that I've noticed that really does help with staying organized, with taking back control, so that the ADD isn't always winning, is to make sure that you have you're prioritizing. So also, I'm just trying to get in the habit, so when I have interns, they don't have to spend time trying to find what they need to find when we're working on chores and we're working on things. I can just say, go here, and X will be there, and it'll all be good. So let's put the food up there and get everyone fed. So how do I counteract? What do I do for my ADHD? So I have the ADHD where a stimulant absolutely helps. So I would probably be a good candidate for Adderall, except for I do not like the concept of pharmaceuticals, probably to my detriment. I think, but I'm just not, it's just not something I'm going to, it's just not something I'm going to do. I've had bad I've had negative reaction to it in the past. Actually, it's right here. I've had negative reaction in the past, and so I would just rather not risk it in the future. So not something that I'm going to take. That being said, there is other things out there in the ether that I am trying. So I have noticed things like the Monster Juice energy drinks, which are really not necessarily the best for you, but I have found that those actually do help. But I'm like, still, I want to try to find something else. So we do some work. We do some workouts and, try to keep our bodies in good shape and working out. It's one of the things we do on our Discord, which, by the way, if you want to join our Discord, it's discord.gg/xDrFirefly. Coming over, hang out with us. Lots of cool stuff we talk about over there. And building a really awesome digital community with really cool people. You want to be cool. You want to be one of the cool kids. Come and hang out with us. But, though, we've been doing energy, we've been doing workouts. There's a pre-workout called No Explode that Mark had told us about. And I have found that No Explode has a very similar reaction to me as some of the energy drinks. And the one thing about No Explode is I can get a No Explode without any type of artificial, without the shitty colors and stuff like that. And I can control the dosage. So if I just want a little dose or a big dose because it's a powder, I can control the dose and not feel like I'm wasting anything, because I don't like to waste things. So I've noticed that it revs me up, man. I feel internally revved up, but that internal rev up also makes it easier for me to stay tuned, stay concentrated. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. What the revved up kind of does, and the best way to explain it to someone that doesn't understand, is it makes it easier to cycle back to this project. So I am thinking about doing a million things in my head at any given time. There's probably a gazillion things that I'm thinking I should do, want to do, awesome do. And the faster my brain thinks and the faster I can get back to something like that, I can keep cycling through and be like, okay, nope, this is what I want to think about. Nope, this is what I want to think about. Nope, this. And so I can get to thinking about what I want to think about. And then when I get to thinking about what I want to think about, I can try to pause it for a bit and be like, okay, so let's pause this. Let's get this figured out. This is something I really want to be focusing on. And so pause it for a bit. Other thing that really helps is multitasking. One of the reasons I really like to do Let's Feed the Chickens while I'm feeding is having to do multiple things at the same time. So having to feed the chickens, make sure I feed everyone, talk to you guys. So make sure that I'm kind of, talking, wandering, saying things in my head, and I'm saying them out loud, and then reading and responding. I like that. It makes it easier. It makes each chore just a little bit easier. And it makes those moments that I need to sit and concentrate for a second, it makes them a lot easier to deal with. because it makes it a lot easier to deal with, because then when I cycle through, I can think, okay, yep, talking, done. Next thing done, next thing done. And then so I've got all three, I got all the things that I'm thinking about, and then cycling through and doing that. So why is farming, gardening, ranching, outdoor life, really, why is it more beneficial to someone with ADHD, someone that's hyperactive, with someone that is let's just say a non-traditional way of thinking? And one is because you have a lot of freedom over what you do every day. Because I love this saying, if you aren't controlling your clock, your time, your clock, someone else is. And man, is that true. I'm not good at somebody else controlling my clock. I don't mind having the animals do things. I don't mind somebody asking me for help. I don't mind doing things. But man, one of the things I hated about working a 9 to 5 is a traditional 9 to 5 is when I had to do things in a particular window when somebody wanted me to do things. And what that would do a lot to me is a lot of times I would just really not want to do the thing then, even if I don't mind doing it. Just the fact that I had to do it when somebody told me to do it, and just having to do the thing in a, like, with somebody else telling me the rules on how to do it and had to do it this way. And don't get me wrong, like, that's good for most people. Most people are good at being cogs in the machine, and we need cogs in the machine. I am not passing judgment on those cogs. Like, now, it's okay if you don't want to be a cog, don't be a cog. That's also important too. But, you know, if you are and you're helping get things done, great. But me, I am not a cog. It is not something that I have ever been good at doing. I've had jobs, I'm good at it, but man, punching somebody else's time clock, whew, it's hard sometimes for me. Actually hard for me most of the time. So, farming. There's still levels that need to get done. The animals still need to be fed. The animals still need to be taken care of. Things need to be cleaned. Things need to be fed. Things need to be built. Things need to be torn down. Things need to be organized. All that needs to get done, but then I can change around when I want them to do, when I want to do them, and when I don't want to do them. And sometimes, if something's really a pressing need, it becomes a pressing need, and it doesn't become another choice. Like the pig's out and the fence is broke, you don't have another choice. You just have one choice, and that is to get the pig in and fix the fence. Or there is a tree's down somewhere, and you got to put that tree back up. There's not a choice to that. This is what needs to be done now, and everything else becomes second fiddle. And there's something nice about having the urgency of things that you just have to get done now. So when you have the rule of urgency, it makes, at least for me, with the ADHD and the problems that I have with prioritizing things, it makes all of that so much easier, because then I don't have to think that I'm prioritizing wrong. Well, not that I actually think I'm prioritizing wrong. Not that I prioritize wrong, because I don't have a choice. This is the priority. This needs to get done. I like the things with plants. What I like about growing plants and having crops and trees and such is it teaches you a level of patience. Like, you have to be patient when you're growing foods, because, you know, you have to make a decision, and then you actually don't know if you made the right decision until months later. You're like, oh yeah, that was good, man. I checked the soil. The soil's good. Everything should be bueno. And then you get out there and you're just like, oh, yeah, I probably should have done this or that. And it happens. So you guys, let's enjoy the little walk. The sun's about to crest over the mountain, so I'll be losing great daylight. You can see long shadows right now. Super long shadows. I'm gonna put you guys right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. By the way, guys, if you're watching this on a D-Live or Kick or YouTube, thank you. X Dr. Firefly on all three of those. If you want to follow me on Twitter, X Dr. Firefly, and of course, like I told you, you guys are interested in the cool stuff on the Discord, is discord.gg/X Dr. Firefly. You got the trend here, X Dr. Firefly. So Instagram, it's X Dr. Firefly 37. And the only reason I'm plugging my Instagram is because I want to be able to use these glasses and do stuff. And that seems to be a good spot to be able to do things on. So, okay, let's let that keep going. I got the guys outside to work on. And the other nice thing about farming is it allows you to be a little bit absent-minded. Not completely absent-minded, but a little bit absent-minded, because you can always do something and then go back and mess with it later.
Television watch past videos. Help me grow. Men farmer medium light skin tone.
Interesting that it reads the emoji that's on there too. I think that's funny. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I can hear that, and that's why I set it up. So there's my Rumble channel. I'll try to upload all these videos to Rumble. I haven't done that lately. Rumble's also where you can watch the farm live if you like, just wanting to watch me and you don't want to necessarily listen to me blabber on. You can just go to the Rumble channel. You can also view this on Kick. No, not on Kick. Yeah, I think you can view it on Kick. It's Mavis Pharmacy, spelled with an F. And Mavis Pharmacy also on D-Live as well. So let's go get the bunnies outside, and then we'll finish up in here. And then we'll go for a short little walk. We're gonna get the bunnies. Work on getting the bunnies first. Don't want that to fall over. Bunny food in here. Let's go get the bunnies some food and get the chickens some food. There's something else. See, something else I was going to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. One thing is, I'm absolutely learning that I need a cheat sheet to be able to keep me on track, even when my brain is working better like it is today, or like it is right now. Still need a cheat sheet. Still makes it easier if I can go and I can look and remind myself where I was going down the path. It's like an absent-minded professor. I am absent-minded all of the time. Lots of crazy things to be absent-minded about. I don't even know if I put it. You are going to be able to see me. Great. Hi, Fernando. Fernando's here to hang out, say hi, do his Fernando thing, which is just meow at you guys and tell you that he is hungry and he wants some food, and that you should be convincing me to give Fernando some food. Some of you might be wondering, you might be new, you're just like, Doc, I'm here, you're talking about all this ADD crap, and I know you're a farmer, but what do you raise? So we've got bunnies, and we have chickens, and we have ducks, and lots of ducks. I have two types, so actually I have a couple different types of ducks, but the ducks that we have are Muscovies. Lando, you need to come out of there. That's not for you. Come on, you don't live in a bunny cage. You don't live in a bunny cage. We have Muscovies and guineas, and I love guineas. We've got rabbits and a pig. And if all works out well, we'll be adding 2 new groups of animals next year to the farm, as we'll be returning quail. We used to raise quail at one particular point, and I will be getting quail again. And we're going to get sheep because I really want to learn how to spin my own wool. I think that that sounds spectacular. Lisa's good at making stuff with wool. She makes some really cool hats, which will be for sale in the very near future on our website. But I want to be able to learn to spin wool, and I think it would be cool to spin wool from our own animals, because that just sounds really fun and exciting to me. So, fed. These guys fed down here. We also, I also have fruit trees. I think there is about 30 or so fruit trees, which I want to try to add another 50 this year. My goal is to keep adding fruit trees every year, because you can never have enough fruit trees. One of the first things I would suggest for you guys, anybody interested in starting off with homesteading, is fruit trees. One of the first things that you should be adding to your farm. Fruit trees are vital, absolutely vital to having a good homestead, especially apple trees if you can, because making all the cool stuff you can make with apple cider, apple stuff. Yeah, so I'm all about the apples. That's one of the things that we have the most, probably the most apple trees. Fernando, you are not a cage bunny. You are a kitty. You do not live in here, even though he thinks otherwise. Come on, Fernando, get out. You're gonna have to stay in there for a while. Come on. Out. Yes, Fernando, I hear you. Meowing your face off like always. Okay. So, how are we going to do this? I'll put this on my shoulder. And we'll grab this. And we will grab this. And we will continue on to the next grouping of bunnies. So we have a, ghetto lean there. Over here. So we have a couple different cages set up. A couple different enclosures. Trying to, we had a really interesting plan this year, and it just did not work out the way it was supposed to. Whatever. It balanced back out, and that's all that matters. Yeah, we just, a really cool idea to try to use our bunnies to make flower beds and to make beds to grow plants. And unfortunately, the idea that I tried to do did not work. So, come on, Fernando. Just hang out there for a minute then. And so, why didn't it work? It didn't work because the chickens dug too deep into the dirt, and everything just, I don't know. It was an interesting plan, and I learned a lot from it. I learned how not to do a bunch of stuff. And one of the key things that I think is very, very important when you're a farmer and when you do farming and such like that is you learn how not to do things. And so what we tried to do is we tried to make a raised flower bed with cement blocks, and then put some dirt in there, and then put the cages over it. And I thought, we did one experiment with cages with bottoms and one experiment with cages without bottoms. And I thought, oh man, the cage without bottoms, that's going to be primo. The animals will get in there, they'll dig everything up. And yeah, it did not work the way I was expecting. So I did learn though, that bunnies with bottom cages, with just the metal on the bottom, it's actually a pretty good thing. You do have to change them out. They can't be there for forever. Probably just a few months, and then change that out. And that works out pretty good. And the bunny poop, and then you kind of stir that in. So we did learn some good lessons, and we learned some stuff that works out pretty well. Very happy with that aspect of it. But it's always interesting, always something new, And you know, I've been doing this farming and such, living down here for 20 years, and I would say almost every year I discover something new, better, cooler, awesomer, or that I was doing wrong. And I look back at past me and like, past me, you were an idiot. Why were you doing that? This is such an easier way to do things. So, but sometimes you don't learn until something breaks, or until you think you've done something right for so long that you realize, yeah, that just wasn't the best way to do things. See that rat? See those rats? See that rat hanging out up there? See, what do you think he's doing? Silly rats. So the rat population has really dropped in here over the last, since I've used the rat birth control. So since I became Rat Fauci and reduced the rat population by telling them that they cannot have babies anymore, stopping them from breeding. Because I can't use rat poison. Those that might not realize, I can't. Unfortunately, I do not have functional fireplaces. 20 years ago, before we bought it, the people that owned it before us, they did these stupid the way they sealed the fireplaces. Now, the upside is at some particular point, I can probably make them work again. It's just there is just some work. The good news is I've climbed down. I've been on the roof, and I've climbed down probably maybe 10 feet down one of the chimneys. I actually fit. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of stuff in it. But because of what they did and how they said it, I would absolutely have to have a liner in the chimneys. And I've looked into that. And so I did figure out that if I put if we do a liner in them in the future, we would be able to actually put the fireplaces back into functioning fireplaces. It's just that is the last time I got a price quote on something like that, it was like $8,000 or $9,000, and that is not a current priority to do. But it is possible. It's not like it's completely out of the picture. It's not like it's not like you have to add a brand new one. Now, I will tell you, when me and Lisa build our off-grid cabin, I am doing something called a rocket mass heater. And I'm not sure if you or anybody else watching this is familiar with what a rocket mass heater is, but rocket mass heater is absolutely amazing. If you're unaware of it, you should just Google search it. There's some great videos. If it's something that you find interesting, let me know, because I'm trying to justify doing a rocket mass heater class this year, and I want to teach.
Scopes for camping, etc.
Yeah, these are for heating your house. Their whole purpose is for house heating. So imagine that little rocket stove, but make it big and make a mass connected to it. So like a cob, or a cement bench, and done for home heating and home cooking. So very absolutely cool. Question for you, Wandering Bishop, or who?
How many chickens do you have?
My first question for you, and then I'll answer that. How many chickens? My first question is the talking, is the voice to text of it? Is it annoying? I'm working on change voices, but curious if it actually distracts from the conversation we're having. But how many chickens do I have? I have, chicken-wise, I have just under 100. I have a handful in this barn. Let's see, how many do I have in this barn? I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 in this barn and about 80, somewhere in the vicinity of 80 in the other barn.
Not annoying at all, and I think it's good since you wander around.
Ah.
Still your chat. We can hardly hear the TDS.
Oh, perfect. The TDS is for me, so I'm glad that it's set. Awesome. So I'm glad it's set up the way it is. So so I also have somewhere in the vicinity about 70 ducks. Ducks is what I have the most of. And then I have 1 pig, which we're going to go say hi to Miss Sylvia in just a few minutes after I get these guys, make sure I got these guys fed and watered. And then we're going to go for a short little walk, which is very, which will go out to the field and such, just because it's something I like to do. And things that. So I plan on, I don't know if you guys heard me earlier, but I said I plan on adding quail to the mix very soon, and sheep. So I've got a neighbor that raises sheep, and I've really been wanting sheep for the last couple of years. And you might have heard me mention about doing the wool, but man, I just really, sheep are so cool. I don't really want goats. Not a big fan of goats. My buddies raise goats. I'm not saying you shouldn't have goats. There's lots of perks to goats, but I am not ready for goats on the goat mix. Later, perhaps. Okay, we got everybody. Oh yeah, she did. That was. You can almost have your chickens survive on kitchen scraps. I do suggest, though, occasionally getting some types of seeds, because they do need the roughage to put into their crop. That helps break down stuff. But yeah, you can pretty much feed chickens exclusively on scraps and such, as long as there's a little bit of seeds every once in a while. And just bird seed actually works really well. Let me show you. You might be interested in seeing what my feed looks like. Let me show you what I feed, and we also. So this is what a lot of the feed. This is what our feed looks like that I feed my chickens. There's a lot of millet in here. There's a lot of sunflower seeds. There's a lot of corn. So if you can grow your own stuff, I would suggest growing millet and grow some sunflower seeds. And if you can grow those 2 things and your table scraps, you should be very, very good. So yes, oyster shells are oyster shells or any type of seashell to give them the calcium so you can get good, strong eggs. It's also can be very important. Sunflower seeds actually have a lot of calcium in them. And so adding sunflower seeds will make your chicken shinier, and it will keep the shells nice and strong. So I need to get some feed up to the guy up there. We got a chicken that lives all by himself. He's just a loner. He's our lone wolf chicken. I'm gonna get some feed. His name's Ralphie. Get some feed for Ralphie, then we'll get Sylvia some food. My chickens would eat more table scraps if we didn't have a pig. But because we have a pig, I don't get that much table scraps for them. So let's go give this to Ralphie. Oh, here you guys go. Let me show you pretty much a sun. So you can see the tree line, and then right below the tree line. That's nice. But yeah, right there, so you can see the tree line, and then it's just about to go over. The sun is just about to go over the side of the mountain, and so it won't be long before I start getting into the black and white, our early dusk. Even though sunset is still quite a few probably a couple, maybe an hour or so away. So,
Do you have black walnut trees around you?
I do have black walnut trees around me. I love black walnut trees. So, actually, in just probably in about 2 minutes, let me get Sylvia some food. In about 2 minutes, check out the black walnut trees. And what I personally love about these black walnut trees is the trees that we're gonna go see, I planted from nuts that I brought from my past house. And so I actually planted the black walnuts. So personally, I think they're great. So let me finish out getting. Watch out, ducks. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, sorry, duck. Okay. So, guys, it's mud season, by the way. So we got snow and mud and all the fun stuff. Oh, sorry about that. Hitting the wrong buttons. Okay, perfect. So, to Miss Sylvia.
Citrus trees and loquats, mulberries, clementines, pomegranates, different climate.
Ah, yes, I'm jealous. A lot of those sound awesome. So here is Miss Sylvia, for those that you want to meet Miss Sylvia. Right, Miss Sylvia? I don't know if you guys, some of you were, I think Lurker was mentioning he saw on the other screen when she got out and got into the barn. It was pretty funny. So.
Yeah, we get same weather, just me a little bit later.
There's my house for those that wanna see where I live.
Lots of rain other night.
Dude, we got lots of rain the other night. We actually got a good amount of snow as well. Pretty happy with that amount of snow that we got because I absolutely love snow. Okay, so let's first let's go over this way so I can remind myself. If if you watch this to the end, if someone can remind me just before I log off to make sure I unplug the cistern, because I would probably rather not the cistern run all night. But we're going to walk over there because I want to show you some of the black walnuts that I was collecting this year. So there's a link to the Discord if you're interested in hanging out with us and talking about this kind of stuff. We have a cool little community set up on Discord. But anyway, so you can remember me. Say, Doc, Justin, unplug the cistern. Okay, so under here, under our steps, under our bench, I have tons and tons of black walnuts. So 3 big containers of black walnuts. Haven't really, I don't exactly know what I want to do with all these yet. Great for dyeing. I don't really eat them very much, so I'm mostly going to be dyeing. The other great thing about black walnuts is this outer shell. If you've got you got to deal with a fungus or something, especially like an athlete's foot or something, this stuff is really, really good. Does a great job of slowing it down, getting rid of it. Natural way. Plus, it's
Black walnuts make great ice cream.
They make great ice cream. I have never made ice cream with black walnuts. I will absolutely have to try that. That sounds really fun. I mostly use it because I want to do dyes in the near future and using it for its medicinal purposes. So as an herbalist, I'm always looking for things that I have sitting around to utilize for medicine or wellness or all that kind of good stuff.
Are the Osage oranges good or useful for anything?
So you can actually eat Osage oranges. There is medicinal purposes for them. You have to do a lot of work with them. I actually will do a little bit more research lurking, and I will let you know.
They're squirrel proof.
I will let you know a little bit more data on the main good uses for it. It's not a lot of people use them. Which, by the way, that reminds me, I need to get some Osage orange trees this year. I'm going to go on that quest, and we're going to try find some trees. Because I want to plant a couple. Because I'm doing my tree census at the particular moment. So I have 33 acres. And at the particular moment, I have 32 different species of trees.
Just seeing if you had anything.
Yeah, no, I actually want to look it up myself as well. Okay. So I will have to, being in the creek will be something I will definitely check out. Thank you for reminding me a good place that they grow. Okay, so we're gonna head over here, back the back path. As you can see, this back path does not get a lot of sunlight, especially this time of year. So this is a princess tree. We're right here. So that black walnut tree, and that black walnut tree, and that black walnut tree, and then you'll see that one and that one and that one, all these black walnut trees. About 20 years ago, I planted from a nut, and last year was the first year that they finally gave me some nuts. So it took about the 15 to 17 years. So flat top. You guys can see the shadows are strong today. Yeah, see, black walnut trees right along the fence line. I put them along that fence line because we don't have, they fall down this way. And so I don't have to necessarily worry about the cows or horses or anything that pasture up that way eating it. Oh, there is.
I lived in NC and had a 200-year-old black walnut that was like 12 feet around at the base.
That is cool. Okay. I'm gonna walk quietly up here. You guys look right in front of us, you'll see the white-tailed deer just jump in the fence. Pop, 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 right center of the screen. So I hear another one. He's gonna go up the hill. We're gonna go up the hill that way. I heard him make a little noise. So they love the white-tailed deer. Absolutely love the fact that I didn't cut my hayfield this year. So they're down here eating a bunch of stuff, snacking on what's left over at my garden, and just enjoying themselves here. So, by the way, guys, if you guys are, every one of those pine trees I planted.
I love seeing those massive old trees up close in person.
Oh, dude, I've got some ginormous oak trees here on the property and a couple giant maples. And I am a big tree fanatic. I love big trees. I actually seek out, I search for big trees.
Almost a glimpse back in time.
Oh, absolutely a glimpse back in time. Big trees are just, I don't know, they're one of the most amazing things to me. I love trees though. So trees are probably one of my favorite things that exists on the planet. But big trees, man, just amazing. But yeah, all those trees you see actually everything in that backyard, the hayfield used to extend all the way over there. And throughout the course of the last 20 years, I've planted trees. I think I figured out that in the area, in the half acre or so, that in the last 20 years, I planted, I think it's like 450 trees just inside that acre. In the course of the years that I've been down here, I've planted a couple thousand trees. Well, this is the cemetery in the center of my property. So let's head back over this way. I'm going to try to remind myself to turn off the cistern. Well, so I'm pretty happy so far. This phone does it pretty good. This phone's about as good as my old phone. Again, I wish I could get my glasses, but right now the glasses are only synced to Facebook and Instagram. And I'm not quite ready to get all that set up as well yet. So, but yeah, dusk. So you can see pretty much the sun's right there. It's already kind of dipped down over. But from the road to, you can't even see the top of the mountain, but it levels off there, and then it goes up a little bit more and goes higher. From the top of the mountain down to there is about 600 feet. It's about a 600 feet elevation increase, which is why in the future we're going to be doing earth batteries as a class here. But what I was saying earlier, we were talking about the rocket mass heater, is I want to do I'm probably going to do a rocket mass heater here, a workshop here, and then record all of it and then have it available for people to jump in and watch and ask me questions. And I'm really thinking that that's something I want to do. I've been wanting to build a rocket mass for a long time. Like, I helped kickstart a project. I have all the building plans to do rocket mass heaters, which, by the way, if anybody needs help building rocket mass heaters or any advice, I can hook you up with the videos and the plans, or you can jump on the Discord and we can talk about it like that too. But yeah, you can definitely see how the sun this time of year does not penetrate over here along the edge of the pine trees. And so you get this little snow belt of snow. We got a good amount of snow. I think we got, I want to say it was about 3 inches. I'll have to look. I haven't measured. I actually need to document that down on my thing. So 3 inches. So we're at, let's see, we're at 5, 6, we're at 8 inches so far this year. So already well on the way of what we were last year. I think last year I only had 18 inches of snow, which is insane because I usually average about 96. So usually average a lot of snow here. So only having that small amount was absolutely the crazy thing. Actually shocked that the snow was so light. It was cold though last year, man. We had some pretty cold temperatures, negative 25 Fahrenheit. So, which I don't remember what negative 25 Fahrenheit is in Celsius, but I think it's like, I think negative 30, 32 or 33 is the same. So it'd have been in the negative 20s in C. So it'd have been cold. Like, it's dropping, the temperature's been dropping all day today as well. So we're gonna go over here and I'm going to undo the cistern and take the extension cord and put it back at the house where it needs to go. Because this is something I don't want to forget, because as much as it is good to run the cistern and make sure that the cistern is doing everything it needs to do, I don't want to waste the electric, because the cistern right now is not running on a solar panel. Solar panels, we just don't have the angle of the sun that well in the winters here. So I don't understand. We've got a lot of people, a lot of companies thinking about building solar farms here in southern West Virginia, and I think it's just a horrible idea. We just don't have the angle of the sun that people think it is. Even if you pop it on some of the hollers, I just think it's too destructive to do a solar farm. Maybe if you have a solar panel on your house, or a couple on your house, or you pop them on roofs of businesses.
Check out the new XDR Firefly hat. The link, heavy $sign.
So I think that, if you have it on your roof or a business roof or something like that, solar panels, great idea. Personally, for personal use, absolutely. But these big solar farms, I don't know. I'm all about trees and nature, and I don't like big wind turbines. And I hate these cell towers that are all around me. I wish they weren't around either. I wish I could just look outside and just see nature. And maybe in the future, that's where it'll tend to gear and move towards. But yeah, this just right now, these solar panels farms that they're talking about building here just don't make sense to me. It just seems so illogical. But who am I? I'm just some dude that teaches permaculture and farming. So, okay. Well, I think we're going to head in. So I want to thank everybody for joining, asking questions. Feel free to jump in, ask any questions that you want. If you need any help with farming, gardening, anything like that, hit me up. X Sector Firefly, just about everywhere. That's including Gmail. You can send me an email there as well. And all that kind of good stuff. So I'll probably do another show tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing anybody around tomorrow. And yeah, about it. Thank you guys for joining me on this fun adventure. I kept it in under an hour. That's awesome. I'm usually really bad at that. Anyways, guys, it's Doc, Justin, whatever you guys like to call me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. If I don't see any of you guys before Christmas, you guys have a Merry Christmas. If you practice something other than Christmas, happy whatever you do. And you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Till tomorrow. Adios.